I'm Yasharala. Before we go into this lesson, we give all honor, all glory, and all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash. We give double honor to the apostles and prophets and elders of James Camp, better known as Great Millstone, for to bring forth the 100% truth that I've been currently edified under. Shalom to the elect, the tabernacle of David, and my brother Ariak. Coming to this lesson. Now, this lesson is dealing with a situation that I have done, right, where I was edifying a young brother, but he was still like going on different doctrines, and I was trying to correct him in the way which he would have understood. Now, I laid that through Yahweh Shemir Shai and Rekakadash. That foundation was laid by my onto him by the wisdom that I've gotten by the elders and by Yahweh Shemir Shai, right? So we brought the information onto him, and he was learning, showing that he was understanding. And then in and out, he began to mingle himself with doctrines like Enoch, which I did a correction for that. And then from there, he began to go into things like the Greek Septuagint and the Codex Bible, and saying how the King James Version, the translated version, is no longer of effect. You had to go back to the Codex Bible, that is the original Bible, to then come and say, hey, the Bible have a lot of errors in it, and even in the Codex Bible, it is hard for you to understand with these errors, so it's better you do what you want to do. And even though he said something like that, from that a time before that, I was supposed to cut off, but I still decided, what, who knows, maybe Yahweh Shemir will give him the understanding, and being so gullible to the way that he was portraying himself. One made you understand, hey, for real, it make sense, and then it's like, yeah, nah. It made me realize that, hey, I myself was being an idiot entertaining his BS. So, of course, this video is just to tell you, when you get somebody like that, what the Bible call them fools or foolish. Don't waste your time with that, because he end up going and wanting to teach other people the things that he learned, and I had to correct him on that and correct these people on that at the same time, to the point where they themselves are no longer listening to him anymore. And there's a reason for that, because when you go into Proverbs chapter 10 and verses 14, it says, a wise man lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction, which is correct, because he's spewing some things that may sound wise, that may sound good, but it's not correct in itself, which could lead anyone of Israel away from the truth, putting them in that state of destruction, of course, spiritual dead state. So I'm here to say, hey, don't waste your time entertaining foolish people. When you realize that they start to go off from time and time again, and you see that there's no form of improvement on them, just don't waste your time. Is at the end of the day, who is the one who choosing his elect? Is Yahweh Shemir Shai. You can't go against his will. When you think about it, you can't try to overteach somebody and he not getting it, and you still want to, you want him to get it. You are forcing him to get it, which I wasn't, but it's like you would see a little change, and with that little change, you want to continue, And this is why I get caught up in, so don't waste your time teaching foolish people. Let me get a precept in Sirach chapter 22 and verses 13, I believe. It says, talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that he had no understanding. It says, beware of him, lest thou have trouble, and thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries. So it says, depart from him, and thou shalt find rest. Because now looking at it, the moment I say, you know what, this ain't making no sense, and cut ties, I had a relief. My brain was feeling a lot more at ease. I no longer have to I no longer had a responsibility to try and get this person to get it because he wanted to learn the truth from the beginning. He asked, he requested. So and now the weight has been lifted off. I realized, I myself was in foolery. By trying to teach him, he not taking heed. I realized I myself was entertaining. I had to cut it off. Our scripture says, depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness. And this is what we have to do. At times, we may see someone that, they're cleaving onto the truth. They have a zeal. As scripture says, they have a zeal for Yahweh, but not according to knowledge. Many people have a zeal, and with that zeal, we tend to carry the news, the good news unto them, the gospel, the sound doctrine unto them. But they are not able to receive that sound doctrine. They're not able to absorb and learn and build on it. Scripture says what? Let me get a precept. I don't know what you're again. Wise are the people. And this is what I fail to do. I read it right here. 2nd Ezra chapter 12 and verses 38. It says, and teach them to the wise of the people. The people who are predestinated to understand, to receive. Scripture said the elect is going to receive it, and the rest will be blinded. He was one of the blinded. It says, whose heart thou knowest may comprehend and keep these secrets. From the time I see he started to turn away from this truth, even when receiving this truth, I should have already cut it right there. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I guess I proved myself to be wrong, considering him coming back to understanding after. So now you got a precept. It says, for the Romans chapter 8 and verses 6, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. And not everyone have that, not spiritually minded. He is very carnal. And now looking back on it, I begin to realize how carnal he truly is. Right? Let me have you said Proverbs chapter 14 and verses 7, as it says, go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou preservest not in him the lips of knowledge. It says, the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his ways, and he was not understanding his ways. He constantly questioned, so on. And when I gave him the direct answer, he would crumble down and be like, oh, okay. And then again come back to ask a similar question, alluding to some form of answer he wants to get. But the Bible gives all the answers. You don't interpret your own answer and say this is where it is. No. It said, the wisdom of a prudent man is to understand his ways, but the folly of fools is deceitful. And again, I telling you, the way how he was operating, real, he gave you a hint of, okay, you know what, all right, and then fall back. It says, fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. I was supposed to stop at 9, but I'm glad I read that point too. And no matter what I taught him, he is like he despised wanting to keep the laws of Yahweh Shai. Still going on party. So I talked to him about it. Still going on party. Trinidad, Caribbean parties deal with soca and all this music and wine and jam. You don't know who you whining on. You don't know if this person have a husband. You outside there literally entertaining adultery. But hey, can't fight it. At the end of the day, I'm no longer teaching him. I can't fight it. He would have been a potential fruit, but it was not for him to receive that at the end of the day. Scripture tells you in Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. But here it is. But fools despise wisdom and instructions, which he was doing. Even to keep the Shabbat, considering the new moon, which I gave a proper breakdown on multiple occasions, still despising that and protesting against it, saying, but the Shabbat should supposed to be on Friday evening. No, we don't follow Gregorian calendars. Remember, as scripture tells you, the moon is given for our season, signs. Come on. Including feast days, including the Shabbat. That's where it comes in. But again, there's nothing I can do. I go back into Sirach. I cannot now. So if it's for him to fall away, I still have hope that he would come back around and start back to receive, but there's nothing I can do. Sirach chapter 22 and verses 14 says, what is heavier than lead, and what is the name thereof but a fool? Sand and salt and a mass of iron is easier to bear than a man without understanding. And it was sometimes it have gotten frustrating to having to teach something over and over which he couldn't receive. I even asked, hey, pray Yahweh Shai gave you that wisdom. Pray he gave you that faith that you continue to continue to do his work. Turn away from the ways that you're living now. Then a few days after, you see him with a mark on his head. He mark up looking fresh as his seat in the society. Fresh and crisp. You understand? It marks so sharp, if I touch it, you cut your hand, Going back out in the world back again. So, hey, there's nothing I could truly do but pray. But the Bible tell you, don't be a companion of fools. Let me get a precept. I believe it's Proverbs 13. I don't know butcher that. I probably butchered already. It's like Proverbs 13 and 20 says, okay, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. So that's even worse, because this would be a portion on this side. He's a Jake, nevertheless, but I would say he can't receive right now. But if he is a two-third, then his portion on this side is destruction. He's going to perish on this side. So let me get one more precept before we close out. Psalm chapter 92. Verse 6. Our scripture tells you, a brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. There's no understanding with them. Now we know the brutish man mainly is Esau Edom. But hey, we have many of our people operating in that manner, like them. I said, I'll look at this precept. Proverbs 9 and 6. Forsake the foolish and live. This is the point, which I had to cut ties with him. Forsake the foolish and live, and go in the way of understanding. Now, I had hoped that he would have come around in many times when he started to operate as though he understand. I would have hoped and decided, let me teach him again. But I had to cut ties. There's nothing I can do for that again. So, for those who are in a similar situation, hey, but don't waste your time with foolish people. If they carry you, the Bible say what? Teach that wisdom to the wise of the people, the ones that could comprehend and understand his ways. Not everyone could understand his ways. The elect are the ones that are going to understand his ways and do the will of Yahweh Shem Yoshai. These are the true brothers. These are the true brothers. These are the true family when you go into it. Not the fools who, I would say, weighing on your I can't even say emotion, weighing on your on you. I would say somewhat emotion by they operating in a certain manner and then going back into the world again to do the same thing again and again. It's like he thought he had a luxury. He thought having me teaching him would be a luxury, but at the same time he started to slip away. So Shalom Yasharala, Kal Halalyam Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kakwadash. Give that belongs to the apostles and prophets and elders of James Khan, better known as Great Millstone, for the before the 100% truth that I've been currently edified under. Shalom to the elect tabernacle of David. And brother Zariak. Again, don't waste your time with foolish people. It is not going to profit you anything. It's going to be a burden unto you, a stress, a strain, and like I cut ties with them, I feel so much at ease right now. You would feel the same. So, with all further ado, shalom.